Okay, so here we are. Uh, we're going to do our first lesson in the gospel and leading our family and family worship time. Again, big picture is we want to start leading our families into family worship time. And what better lesson than the lesson on the gospel? And there are many scriptures that we could use to show the gospel. We don't have to do it over seven lessons, but I just figured that's what I would do, just break it up over seven lessons. So first lesson is God is holy. And again, these are just videos not to show the family, listen to Nate talk about the gospel, but these are videos to encourage the heads of the household, basically those who are going to be leading the family worship. This is for you guys to watch, and if you even need to watch it, if you even need these notes, some of you may not, most of you may not, but for people who have not done this or are nervous about getting started on this, I just want to go through each lesson shortly and kind of show you, hey, it's not that hard. So first lesson, God is holy. That's what we need to recognize first in the gospel. One, God is holy. That's what this lesson is. Okay, so we can point out to the family, God is holy, and define what holy means. Holy means, as I have written here, is an apartness or to set apart, an otherness. Okay, the Hebrew word is kodesh. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but so holy, otherness, and kind of you can help your family realize when we say holy, we're not like in this Western mentality where we talk about holy as in, oh, holier than thou, like somehow you're better than. Now God is better than, but when we talk about holiness, someone being holy, that's a person. It can be used negatively, but that's not what holy or holiness is. Where we talk about human hypocrisy. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about God is holy; He's set apart. Now, later on in Scripture, we'll find that God says for us to be holy as He is holy. We need to be set apart just as He is set apart. Okay, so anyhow, God is holy, Kadesh, set apart, otherness. Genesis 1:1. So you can go to Genesis 1:1, and the very first in the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Okay? So God created everything. So when someone is the creator of something, the person who created one is greater, but that person is set apart. It is different. It is other than what he has created. Even if we just talk about creating humans. When my children were born, Michelle and I created them, and sort of, we made them, and they were, they have our image. They look like us. They came from us, but we were so much smarter, right? They're babies. That's okay. We can say that. But we created them. They're not like us. We're not like them. Our intellect as adults are far superior to theirs. Now that breaks down in the parallel between God and man and the adult and child, because the child eventually gains as much wisdom, if not sometimes more, or hopefully all the time more wisdom than the parents. So that analogy breaks down at some point. So that doesn't completely hold true to God and man, but it's still, these are ideas to get the juices flowing for your family so they understand this idea of holiness, to be set apart. And God is ultimate holy. He is, as in Revelation, we'll find later on that God is holy, 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 holy thrice. He's three times holy. In Scripture, authors or people, Jesus would repeat things twice for emphasis. Jesus will say, "Verily, verily, I say to you, truly, truly, I say to you." But in Revelation, we read when God is holy, holy, holy. He is ultimate holy. It's like emphasis. He's the most holy thing there is. He is holy, holy, holy. So, all right. So Genesis 1, He created us. All right. So now we have Isaiah 55, 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways. Sorry, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. That word, capital Lord, is the Lord is the holy name of God, which is Yahweh. That you can also put this in your lesson, is that when you see the capital Lord in the Old Testament, that is the writers of the Old Testament showing holiness to God, as we're told to, and they wouldn't even write the name God, Yahweh down. They would do different things to show, hey, this is referring to our God Yahweh, but they would not actually write his name down. And we do that in English by using the capital Lord for his name. So we try to set his name apart. He's so holy we don't even use it. Excuse me. So the scripture, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways. 9, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So what you can do is talk to your kids, ask them, how far is the earth from the heavens? Or how far is the earth from space? How far does space go? You know, when we look at the stars, how far away is that? If they have an understanding of that. Now, for smaller kids who don't have an understanding of how far stars are, that some stars don't even exist, they're so far away, we just see the light of an old star. I mean, that may be harder for, a 5-year-old to understand, but I'm sure 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, teenagers definitely will understand that. And that's how far, and I think it goes beyond that, but that's the idea here, how far. And of course, the original readers of this, I'm not sure, had that concept in their minds, but it still holds true. The planets, the stars were so much further away when this was written, and it's God's holy word inspired by God, true and applicable for all times. So anyhow, that's a good tool to use to show how far God's ways and thoughts are from our ways and our thoughts. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. All right. Oh, yes. Now, on a far less significant scale, when we talk about holiness, we can, to illustrate holiness, not necessarily, not God's holiness, but just holiness, being set apart. What you can do is illustrate and ask kids, what holy things or what holy places do we have in our house, right? For instance, or holy things or holy places in their lives. Here's one I think is good, and I'm having the notes, is the bathroom is a holy place. Now, not holy like God's holy or even holy like we are holy, but it is set apart for a purpose, right? There are specific activities that we engage in the bathroom that we don't engage in anywhere else, hopefully. And if we do engage in them, in those activities somewhere else, it causes problems, right? And you can have fun with that, but let's remember that we're talking about holiness with the agenda of talking about God and how great He is. So let's not become irreverent. A toothbrush. A toothbrush is a set apart thing. It's a holy thing to be used by only one person, right? And again, if somebody else uses your toothbrush, if it's used in the wrong manner, which is being used by somebody else, it has consequences. So, these are kind of things to, again, not necessarily with a toothbrush or the bathroom thing, say that, oh, God's holy, like the bathroom's holy. No, just so we can get this idea in their minds about the concept of holiness, to be set apart. God is set apart. He's so much so other than us. So I think that'll kind of help. Special. God's special. Your toothbrush is special. Your bedroom is special, right? It's set apart. It's your bedroom. Okay. So now we tie that back into God. God is holy. He's set apart. He's special. And we don't just talk about God any old kind of way. We don't treat God any old kind of way. And in that, Scripture is clear that we show our love for God in the way that we show our love for other people. And so, because God is holy, we treat other people the way that he calls us to treat them. Because God is holy, we do what God tells us to do. We live the way that God tells us to live. So, holiness. God is holy. And that's the first thing we need to recognize in this gospel, in the good news, which all comes to its culmination in Jesus Christ. So, that's that on God is holy.